All right, today we're going to dive into a really powerful framework for understanding our own consciousness. We're actually going on a journey from the outside world all the way in to try and unpack the very source of our existence. So, let's get started.
Let's just start with probably the biggest, most fundamental question there is. Who are you really? And I don't mean your name or your job or your history. I mean, who is the you at the absolute center of it all?
So, the way to think about the ideas we're exploring today is like we've been handed a map, a kind of guide to help us navigate the very complex territory of the self. And our journey is going to start with the outermost layers.
So our map begins with these three huge layers that shape our reality: the world, life, and the self. The first real step here is just seeing how they all fit together.
Okay, first up, we've got world events. This is the big picture stuff, the global economy, major political shifts, massive weather patterns. These are the huge forces that form the backdrop of our lives, things we see happening but can't really control. Now, let's zoom in a little. One layer closer, we find our life situation. This is your personal world, your job, your relationships, your health. And see, unlike those big world events, these are the circumstances you are actively interacting with every single day. And then, at the core of all that external experience is the self. This is the identity that we build from all of our experiences. It's the story of me that gets written as we move through our life and through the wider world. So you can really see the progression here, right? As we move inward, our role totally shifts. We go from being kind of a passive, external observer of world events to an active, interactive participant in our life situation, and then finally to the internal experience of the self. It's a clear path from the outside in.
But wait, the journey doesn't stop there. We can actually go one level deeper, past the self as just a product of experience, and into the part of us that interprets all that experience, the ego.
Now, this framework makes a really subtle but absolutely profound distinction. The ego isn't the self. Pay attention here, it is who you think you are from yourself. That one word changes everything.
Okay, here's the key difference, because this is the whole thing. The self is the raw data of your life. It's just what happened, the facts. But the ego is the storyteller. It's the narrator that builds a story from that data. It's not the life itself. And because the ego is a constructed story, it gets really protective of its own narrative. This is exactly why it's the source of our automatic, knee-jerk reactions to thoughts and emotions. It's the part of us that gets hooked. But what if there's another way to live? Well, that other way is a massive shift in perspective, the path of the observer. It's about making a choice to stop being the character reacting to the story and instead becoming the awareness that just watches the story unfold. This single idea right here, this is the key. It's a radical shift in how you see yourself. It means instead of thinking, I am angry or I am sad, you begin to realize I am the silent, conscious space in which anger or sadness is appearing. See the difference? So, okay, how do we actually walk this path? It really comes down to 3 steps. First, you start to identify as the observer. Second, you practice acceptance, meaning no inner resistance to whatever you're feeling. And third, you just allow that reactive energy to transform all on its own.
Let's just pause on this for a moment because this is everything. Think of it like this. You are not the clouds passing in the sky. You are the sky itself. The clouds, your thoughts, your feelings, they just come and go. But that vast, open space of your awareness, it always, always remains.
So what happens when we follow this path of the observer? Well, it leads us to the final destination on our map, the source within. This is the outcome, the incredible result of making this profound inward journey.
Remember that third step, allow energy to transmute? This is what it means. When we stop fighting our inner state, that contracted, reactive energy of the ego literally transforms into something else entirely, a state of still, alert awareness.
And from that still awareness, these qualities just naturally start to emerge. It's not something you have to try to do. It's just the natural state of your being when the reactive ego isn't running the show anymore. You start to find spaciousness, peace, and a connection to a much deeper wisdom. And this journey ultimately leads us right here, to the source. This is the very essence of who you are, a deep wellspring of creation that exists within you. It's that fundamental I am that was there long before the self and the ego were ever built. And from this place of inner source, the potential is just immense. The idea here is that we stop being just passive experiencers of reality, and we actually start to participate in its creation. So we're going to end where we began, with a question. After seeing this map laid out, what would truly change in your day-to-day life if you identified not with the events, not with the thoughts or the feelings, but with the silent, aware space in which they all happen? That's something to really carry with you.